Right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. No. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us today. Such a shame, such a shame, such a shame, such a shame. Such a shame.
Shirley, dear.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for joining us today on this online tour of quick and easy meat-based products. It's such a shame you couldn't join us in person. Now, I know Gary's shown you the factory upstairs and our newly refurbished offices. Very swish. I'm now in our meeting room. Gary, show them the seats they would be sitting at. So first I'm going to tell you why you're here. And then I'm going to show you around the less glamorous parts of the building. But as you'll see, it's no less important. For those who don't know, I'm Shirley Dobson, OBE. And I manage the company with my husband, Gary. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with my work and the success I've had over the years. So I don't need to tell you that as North East Businesswoman of the Year 2016 and winner of the National Business Award 2019, I know how to succeed. And I know I don't need to tell you that my payday loans company, Dosh Limited, as well as providing a valuable service to those in need of financial support, sold last year for a considerable profit. I don't need to tell you any of these things because this isn't about Shirley Dobson, OBE. No, this is about something much bigger. This is about saving the country. Now, before I go on, I just want to say, as a fully paid up member of your party and a big supporter of Mr. Michael Gove, I think you've all done an excellent job. I know it can't be easy trying to manage the Ramonas whilst trying to tackle the problems of long-term unemployment and dependency on benefits left over by the last Labour government. I've followed your progress, and I think the programmes that you've brought in, especially tougher sanctions, have gone a long way to helping reduce numbers. They save money, and ultimately they help people off dependency and into work, right? But I've started to question some of these methods. I mean, are they really effective? Do they deal with the real problems? And how much of this progress is only manipulating the figures? Because looking around, I'm sorry, but the problems are very much still there. We have poverty, sickness, rise in benefits costs, and homelessness. Now, I'm no politician, but I can see that something needs to be done. How do we help people out of the poverty trap? How do we liberate those in long-term benefit dependency? The poor people I see every day whilst I'm driving to my office, clogging up doorways, spitting, soiling themselves. Now, I know we've reduced numbers on paper, but what I'm saying is the problem hasn't gone away. I mean, we still have to look at them. Do you remember the smell of them in the shopping centres? Biscuits, cigarettes, and damp. Fat women in leggings shoving Greggs pasties into their screeching kids' mouths. Weasel-faced men in tracksuits, walking around the park, pushing double buggies, drinking cans of super strength lager. These people need our help. This is poverty, ladies and gentlemen. This is Britain today, and Britain isn't working. See, if we can get these people off the streets, if we can get them off benefits and really give them a purpose, get them contributing to society, then that could make a huge difference for all of us, not to mention the economy. And that's what this programme is about, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why we need your financial backing. Because you've already seen the figures for the North East in the last 12 months. With your support, we can achieve the same results nationally. One of my favourite sayings is, there are no problems, only opportunities. So, how do we turn Britain's problems into an opportunity? 2 words: chicken nuggets. That's right, chicken nuggets. You probably think saturated fats and poverty. Well, I'm going to throw a few other words into the mix. Opportunity, profit, and progress. Yes, that's right. The chicken nugget represents all these things. But before I say more, I'd like you all to sample some of the quick and easy products for yourselves. You should have received them in the promotional packs we sent in the post. After all, this is what you'll be investing in. Okay, now I know chicken nuggets aren't everybody's thing, but there's no harm in trying something a bit naughty now and then, is there? As Tory MPs, I'm sure you know all about that. Just my little joke there. Anyway, for those who did sample the product, I'm sure you'll agree it's very tasty and excellent value for money. But, as you'll see, this is so much more than a frozen meat-based item. What I'm holding in my hand is the future. These chicken nuggets and other products like them, turkey twizzlers, Kievs, mince pies, are going to save this country. In fact, I'll go one step further. They are going to put the great back into Great Britain. See, what I'm offering today is hope. What I'm offering is a return to the country that we all love, the one we can all be proud of. And it's with this in mind, I'd like to propose something. And I know it's a bit unorthodox, but I'd like you all to join me in singing the national anthem. Because I think it's really important we remember why we're doing this. We remember what this country used to be and could be again. And I think whatever decision you make tonight with regards funding the programme, it's important to remember. Right, so if Gary's done this right, the words should go along the top of the screen, though I'm sure none of us need them. Right, there we are. Okay, are we ready? So, before we sing, I want you all to put your hands on your heart, because I know how much this means. And as you're singing, I want you to remember that we are saving this country. God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign. What?
Stop singing.
Okay, stop. That'll do. Gary's just told me that many of you stopped. We can see you, you know. It's two-way. Some of you might feel a bit shy, but I thought in the spirit of things that everyone would join in. I mean, some people did, but not everybody. Not everybody. Do you know that makes me wonder? If someone is given the opportunity to sing the national anthem and they choose not to, that really does make me wonder. But it's fine. No, it's fine. I mean, maybe you don't believe in God either. I know some people don't. Paedophiles, communists, people like that. Anyway, each to their own. It's fine. We'll move on, shall we? Now, where was I? I'm not saying you're a paedophile, by the way, if it came across like that. You're not, are you? I mean, it's fine if you are. I mean, there's been lots of politicians who've been that way inclined, hasn't there? Not that I'm saying it. Anyway, that's just my sense of humour. It's just a joke. No offence, okay? Right, where were we? Oh, yes. Here we are. How the programme came about. Right, yes. Well, before I went into partnership with Gary, he kept asking me if I could suggest ways he could reduce costs. To be honest, the company was really struggling, and he could see how successful I was with Dosh. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's cutting costs. But he'd already made all the cuts that I'd suggested, and his outgoings were still too high. The company was in trouble, and if we didn't find a solution quickly, the business was going to fail. Now this was a new situation for me, ladies and gentlemen. Shirley Dobson, OBE, doesn't do failure. Something had to be done. And that's when Sheila gave me the idea. Problems and opportunities. Okay, so what I'm about to say, some of you might find a bit shocking, but I just want you to keep an open mind. Now, I don't usually mix personal matters with business, but in this case, there is a point to it. Sheila was a person who had, what's the word? Displeased me. Yes, she'd done something, and it doesn't really matter what it was, but let's just say it was something that demanded a swift and decisive response, okay? Now, Sheila worked, I should say, at Quick and Easy Meat-Based Product. She was Gary's personal assistant. Unfortunately, she started to perform certain tasks which I felt went beyond her remit. Yes, I think that's all we need to say about Sheila. Other than the fact that she wore very cheap perfume and clothes that made her look like an overstuffed bag of chips, and when she smiled, she always had lipstick on her teeth. That was Sheila. But the less said about her, the better. Gary said she looked like Carol Vorderman. He likes Carol Vorderman. I said she looks nothing like her, Gary. I mean, maybe in a certain light she looked like Vorderman. I mean, maybe Carol Vorderman if she wasn't looking after herself. Or eating properly. Carol Vorderman if she couldn't afford decent shoes. Carol Vorderman if she wore too much makeup and looked like she'd recently recovered from a minor car accident. Maybe that type of Carol Vorderman. Yes, I could see the similarities. But really, honestly, she hasn't got half of what I've got. Nothing. Nothing. What was I saying? Oh, yes. Why am I telling you about Sheila? Well, because it was Sheila who gave me the idea. See, I needed to get rid of the body, having just stabbed her repeatedly as she left the office. It was late at night, the place was empty, and I needed to get rid. So I dragged her body into the factory. Now, I don't know why I did this, but I just thought, well, she can't stay in the office with 37 knife wounds and blood spraying all over the place. It was like a film by what's-his-name? I really hadn't thought things through. The mess. And I was wearing my cream Vivienne Westwood. So I drag her body down the stairs. And she weighs a ton. Then I notice this little room. Handyman's cupboard or something. So I get to work. finished, I take her back into the main factory. I need somewhere to put her. By this point, she's just a bag of meat. Then I think, hang on, meat? So I find the big freezer where all the bits of offal and meat extract live, and in goes Sheila. I mix her about a bit with the cow's lungs and the pig's testicles, and before you know it, she's gone. Now, later that next night, it all just fits into place. Eureka. The lights go on. I'm sat watching Benefit Street on Channel 4, trying to relax with a nice glass of pink gin and lemonade, but I can feel my blood starting to boil. I mean, the way these people live. And then Gary starts going on about reducing costs again. I mean, he has no idea. And I'm sat there looking at him, staring at these accounts, say they're written in Arabic or something. And I just think, you poor, pathetic little boy. You need me, Gary. You need me. Sheila can't help you now. No. There's only one person that can help you, Gary, and it's me. It's always been me. Shirley Dobson. I mean, look at what we've got. I did this, Gary. I did this, and you need me because there's only one Shirley Dobson, OBE. So yes, I was thinking all of that. And it's then I realised what I needed to do. It all comes together. Like the cold, clear sunlight cutting through the shit, shining out the windows, revealing everything. Everything. I grab my coat and I head to the door. I tell him to meet me at the factory at midnight. And that's when it all started. Soon, the possibilities seem endless. We have food banks, the homeless, all problems which become opportunities. After a while, the system becomes more efficient. It's no longer just me driving around the streets doing it on my own. I've got staff at local job centres helping to recruit. I've got volunteers doing late shifts. I don't use the knife anymore. Now I've moved on to chloroform in a piece of kit Gary's mate got him from the abattoir. It's more humane. I still use the saws though. I like them. So, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Costs have gone down and the North East has the lowest number of benefits claimants in the country. Now, I know it's a bit crude at the minute, really we're just in the initial stages, but if you can see beyond this and think bigger, I mean, I'm thinking whole warehouses, almost like abattoirs, you know, human abattoirs. And I know that sounds bad, well, at least to the PC brigade anyway, but I don't see this as killing people. I see it as liberating them. I mean, they don't really live anywhere, do they? We're watching Jeremy Kellen drinking Lambrini at a bus stop. I wouldn't be surprised if they were queuing up to be liberated. Why do you think so many of them smoke? They want to die. See, when you think about it, the food we produce here, I mean, you and I don't eat that rubbish. Look how many of you didn't want to try those chicken nuggets. But for those who did, could you tell that wasn't chicken? Of course not. It tastes so similar. So the real beauty is we feed the poor with the poor, who in turn feed more poor, and on it goes. It's like Elton John, isn't it? The circle of life. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be huge. I know Mr. Johnson and Michael like the idea, and I've heard some very positive things from Dom. I'm sure you can see the potential. All it needs now is your financial backing, and we can roll this out nationally. We can make this happen. So let's do it. Let's put the great back into Great Britain. What do you say?